93% of people cook steaks wrong. I'm sorry, you do. So today, I want to show you how to cook the most perfect steak in the world on the Blackstone griddle, and it's going to be some good groceries. Before we even hit the griddle, if you start with the wrong steak, well, you're already behind, friends. I like to head over to my buddies over at Colonial Meats in Trinity. They have some great meat there, and I'll be honest with you, they're great people as well. That's one of the reasons why I love going. And I tell them I want 2 fingers width. Don't matter the fingers, just give me 2. And my buddy Scott just cuts them to order right there on the spot, and he does that for everybody. It's not for me, y'all. So let's talk about meat. I prefer a ribeye. If you don't like a lot of fat, well, maybe you like it, maybe a New York strip. But I'm sorry if you do like it that way. I'm sorry. But, you know, a sirloin is great, nice beefy flavor. Fillets are okay, not my favorite either. But hey, you do you. Prefer a ribeye, nice marbling, nice fat. It's oh so good. A lot of people like to see what I pay per price, and I'll be honest with you, ribeyes are really expensive these days, especially a decent ribeye, okay? So let's see as you can see, that thing right there is pretty. Would I wish for a little bit more marbling? Yeah, maybe, but this right here is gonna make a nice steak. So let's talk about what we do to prepare this steak, because, well, I haven't gotten into anything that you're doing wrong yet, more than likely. Moisture. Moisture is not your friend. We want to try and blot some of this moisture off of this steak so that you get a good crust. So just take you some paper towels. If you wanted to, day before, it'd be nice to have a little bit of a salt brine. I would say about a 1/4 teaspoon per pound. And you just put some salt right over your steak, stick it in your refrigerator, and just let that dry. I don't have all that time, all right? It's been a busy week. So I like to blot it off. Just like that. And I'm gonna season this dude. I'm gonna season it with none other than old Hussey's heifer dust, asked for by name, award-winning. Give it a little shake. Sometimes some of this stuff, it might just kind of seize up just a little bit. All you gotta do, just kind of pop it and it'll loosen up on you. So how are we seasoning this? Liberally. This is a big old hunk of steak. I'm just gonna come in nice and heavy. I'll flip her over. Do the same on this side. Get the sides. Definitely don't want to skip that. All right, now, that's perfect. Perfecto. Once you got your meat seasoned, let's let that set for a minute. Let's turn on the griddle. We're going to about a medium heat right here, y'all. And we're gonna actually pre-warm on medium heat just to get the heat up. Right before we put this on, we're gonna ramp this up to high. Now, I have a really nice magnet that you can have right at your fingertips, and it'll tell you about where your knobs need to be. If you got an infrared thermometer or if you got infrared Insta-Read like I like to use, Thermopin, it's got the temperatures there that you want that griddle top for whatever you're cooking. So check that out. If you like one, I would be honored if you ordered one. All right, guys, our griddle, it is ready. You can see this smoke. That tells me we're pushing 450, maybe even 500 degrees. Again, that magnet is a great reference. Let's get our steak down, and I want you to hear something. Look at that bat. You hear that? You want to hear that. You want to press down. You want to make contact patch. A lot of people just throw it on there. Sometimes the steak just, it isn't perfectly flat. Another thing you could do to help with contact patches, take a little weight, just kind of give it a little press. That ensures nice contact patch to the bottom of the griddle. One of the big things, flipping myths. A lot of people say you only flip it twice. I say that's bull. That is not true. What you want is to flip often. Yes, often, many times. I don't know how many, a bunch. Every 30, 45 seconds, flip the steak. That way you get even cookness all the way through. That way you don't have a gray band, medium rare, gray band. That is the key. It's been 30, 45 seconds. This is a never shared before ever on my show. I keep forgetting. You move your steak around before you flip. Watch. See that right there? This right here will improve your crust dramatically. And we flip. Look at that. That's just one time, y'all. That's just 30, 45 seconds. So let's talk about internal temperatures. I got a magnet for that as well. You want medium rare? It shows you. You want medium? It shows you. Great reference right onto your griddle. Has a magnet. You just put it right there and it stays there. You want it on your pellet grill? You can have it there as well. Refrigerator also. Holla at your boy. Move this around. Just move your weight around a little bit. If you don't have a weight, no big deal. You don't need it. Totally optional. Spin 30 seconds, maybe a little bit longer. Ready? We're moving it. Moving it around, moving it around. Also, you don't want to go right back to the same spot you were on. I was close, but again, The reason why is that spot has cooled down. You want it on a nice hot spot. And not bad. I'm gonna put it right there. You wanna hear that sizzle. Let's talk about where my knobs are. The right knob is medium high, 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 medium high. And that's simply just so that the middle stays really, really hot. These sides kind of help the middle, if that makes sense. We're gonna flip again. We're moving this around, moving her around. Let's go. Boom. Look at that crust. And we're gonna get our instant read. I like to go from the side right in the middle. I mean, we're still at 80 degrees. I like to do it in a few places, 80 degrees there. If you wanna come from the top, you just wanna make sure you kind of go in at an angle. So, I mean, we're still 50 degrees and that crust looks amazing. It's been another 30, 45 seconds. Let's flip. But first, we zhuzh it. Oh, come on with it. If you haven't already, guys, I appreciate everyone. If you don't mind, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. And leave a comment. I love those as well. It's been another building that crust. We're building that crust. Let's see what we got. We're still around 80 degrees. It was cold, really cold. Also, I want to go back to choosing a steak. On a ribeye, I like choosing the one away from where the strip is. I can't remember what they call that in, but it's the opposite end. It has a lot of, there's called the spinalis. It's a really soft piece of meat that runs around the top of that ribeye. It is awesome. I suggest if you love ribeyes, that's the piece you need. Yeah, buddy. We just rolling around. Some people, they put their crust is just like kind of gray right in the middle. You may have crust here, crust there. Whenever you do this, it works. All right, boom. You just keep on doing it. I think because there's all this hot spots, and it's just not just right there, it helps just make things a little bit more even. All right, we're at 90. We're getting on up there now, 90 degrees. So we're almost close to my next step, my next awesome tip. And I will say this tip is one that people just say, what did you do to your steaks, Hussey? You won't want to miss it. The bloopers at the end is awesome too. I just want to say, what you looking at, Jeff? Get in the house. All right, now, here's where I will turn the heat down. I got it on, I just put everything on low. Matter of fact, the ends, I'll cut those off because we're going to do something here in a minute that's going to blow your people's minds, okay? We're going to put this right here to the front. This is the good stuff. Actually, I'm going to put it over there. Move it over. You could do many things. You can add herbs to this, but this is what I've been doing later on. About a half a stick of butter. Let that melt. I'm going to cut this off too. There's a lot of residual heat here, y'all. I got garlic. Normally, I like to do some fresh garlic, but I don't have any fresh garlic. A little garlic paste will do. A little bit of W sauce. Wash your sister sauce. Put a little bit of that right there. All right. And that's pretty much it. Actually, I put a little bit of heifer dust on it just to get a little bit more of that seasoning. And that's it, tater chips. I take my steak and I just run in all that butter and that garlic. Just like this. I do like that, okay? Come here, butter. And that's how I like to finish my steaks. It gives it a pop. It gives it a flavor. And that, my friends, is how I do steak. Let's put it on a cutting board and we're gonna let it rest. A cooling rack would be awesome also, so that way it's not really steaming. Take your spatula, get all that goodness, okay? And you come in, put it right over your steak. That'll be a little, when you slice it, oh man, there we go. Look at that. Now the rest is crucial here. I would say it's not real crucial, but let it set 5 minutes or so. And what I like to do is I like to get a big, thick ribeye, just as this, and I like to slice it for everybody, even my family. And that way, you know, everybody don't have one big old piece of hunk of meat right in their plate. And they can just go through and get what they want. So this is that spinalis I'm talking about right here. And it comes off, you can pretty much just pull it off. But a nice sharp knife will also help you. And as you can see, this thing is just like, you can see the strands here. That's what I like. So here's kind of the meat of the ribeye, if you will. We're just gonna go right in the middle. Let's see how we did. Let's see how, oh yeah, look at that. And you can see we got a little bit of that gray banding. If we were to just flip once, that would be more prevalent. But that is perfect medium rare right there. I'll take it. And we just gotta taste it. I mean, look at that. Woohoo! Sunny bud. Let's give it a try. Mm-hmm. Mmm. Slow motion pull. Oh my God. That butter sauce is so amazing. Sometimes I add thyme, rosemary, garlic. We're gonna do another one. So whenever I make this and I slice it up, I like to kind of just do that right there with that butter, that sauce, and then we just gotta give it a try again. Mmm. Mmm. Oh gosh. It's so good. That is so good. I mean, let's look at this. It's right here. Look at that, son. Let's give this a try. I mean, you could about cut it. You could cut that probably with a spoon, literally. Mmm, dang, boy. Woo-hoo! Now, gotta give old Maggie a try. You've been working really hard today. All right, let's go. What do you think about that, girl, huh? How many licks? We got 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all right. Several licks from old Maggie girl. Guys, if you notice, this is super easy, super simple to nail some steaks, okay? Take these, try them, let me know. Love to know. If you're interested in those magnet references, go over to my website, check it out. They are awesome. Get you some heifer dust while you're there too, okay? Hey, I appreciate each and every one of you. Love each and every one of you. Till next time, Hungry Hussey's out. Ideally, I like to let this rest while the griddle is kind of pre-warming. Just kind of let it hang out. Let that salt draw a little bit of that moisture out. What that's doing is it's bringing the moisture up. I just kind of choked a little bit. Oh, Jeff. Jeff's blowing stuff over there. Just kidding, he's not. Oh, come on with it. Your Uncle Gary, he's not gonna talk trash about your steaks no more. The Andersons, don't have to worry about them either because Jeff will be impressed. You can see the strands here. That's what I like. That's what Hussey likes right there. Jeff, you like it? I don't know about Jeff, but at any rate, have a little sippy of cheer wine there. Right there and make you want to slap your grandma. That's so good. Should be illegal.